Switzerland, formed August 1st, 1291. It is a landlocked country bordered by Italy, France, Germany, and Austria. Switzerland ranks high in several metrics of national performance, including government transparency, civil liberties, quality of life, economic competitiveness, and human development. The population of Switzerland is approximately 8 million people, mostly speaking French and German, which explains its power difference.
Maori culture has predominated for most of New Zealand's history of human habitation. Polynesians reached the islands of New Zealand about 1280. European New Zealanders, despite their location far from Europe, retained strong cultural ties to Mother England. More recently, New Zealand's culture has been broadened by globalization and immigration from the Pacific Islands, East Asia, and South Asia. Until about the 1980s, it was often claimed that New Zealand was a classless society. The evidence for this was relatively small range of wealth. That is, the wealthiest did not earn hugely more than the poorest earners. Lack of difference of authority figures, high levels of class mobility, a high standard of working class living compared to British progressive labor laws, which protected workers and encouraged unionism, state housing, and a welfare state which developed in New Zealand before most other countries.
We will be comparing and contrasting Switzerland and New Zealand using Hofstede's 5 dimensions of power balance, individualism, masculinity, uncertainty avoidance, and long-term orientation. Taking a look at power distance for Switzerland, power distance is the extent to which the less powerful members of an institutions and organizations within a country expect and accept that power is distributed equally. Switzerland has a power distance of 34, which is relatively low on the power rankings, but Switzerland is a special type of country. It has both French-speaking citizens as well as German-speaking ones. Each of these types of people see power distance differently. The German-style Swiss are more associated with lower power rankings. They see power distance as being independent and equally righted. Power is decentralized and managers count on experience of their team members. Control is disliked and attitude towards managers are informal and on a first-name basis. There is a vast difference in the power distance with the French-speaking Swiss. They scored much higher on the power rankings, which means they accept a hierarchy in which everybody has a place. Subordinates expect to be told what to do, and the idea of a boss is ideal.
When taking a look at New Zealand's power distance, it is scored lower than Switzerland, a score of 22. This means that superiors are always accessible, and managers rely on individual employees and teams for their expertise. At the same time, communication is informal and direct. An example of this low power distance is a unionized workforce and legal services organization.
The next dimension is individualism. Individualism can be defined as a preference for a loosely knit social framework in which individuals are expected to take care of themselves and their immediate families. Swiss individualism scores high with both the French and German Swiss, giving Switzerland a score of 68. Therefore, Switzerland is considered an individualistic society in which individuals are expected to take care of themselves and immediate family only, although individualistic societies often cause guilt and loss of self-esteem.
New Zealand scored a bit higher on the individual rankings with a score of 79. They are, too, considered an individualistic society, taking care of themselves and family members. In the business world, employees are expected to be self-reliant and display initiative.
The next dimension is that of masculinity. There are 2 types of masculinity, feminine and masculine. In a masculine society, the society will be driven by competition, achievement, and success, with success being defined as a winner. In a feminine society, the society is caring to others and a quality of life. Quality of life is a sign of success, and standing out of the crowd is not admirable. That being said, Switzerland scored a 70, high with both the German and French Swiss citizens, making Switzerland a masculine society. The society is highly successful and driven. In the German-speaking part, the impact is much more noticeable. In this type of masculine culture, people live in order to work, and conflicts are often resolved by fighting them out.
New Zealand also scored very high on the masculine dimension, but not as high as Switzerland. New Zealand scored a 58. New Zealand is also considered a masculine culture where behavior in school and work is to try to be the best you can be. New Zealanders are very proud of their success and life achievement.
The 4th dimension is uncertainty avoidance. Uncertainty avoidance is how a society goes about controlling the future or letting it just happen from the fact that the future is unknown. Reflecting high individualism and masculinity scores, The Swiss have an emotional need for rules. That being said, Switzerland exhibited high uncertainty avoidance scores, maintaining core codes of beliefs and behaviors, which make them intolerable of new and unorthodox ideas.
New Zealand scored just below Switzerland with 49, while Switzerland scored a 58. Switzerland's high uncertainty avoidance consists higher in parts speaking French compared to German speaking parts. In both of these cultures, innovation might be avoided where time is money and punctuality and precision are norms. Security is of importance for making careful decisions, having all the information available.
The last cultural dimension is long-term orientation. We can see a major difference between the society's challenges of the present and future. A high score in long-term orientation yields a pragmatic approach, which encourages societal changes in modern education as a way to prepare for the future. Normative societies, on the other hand, which score low on long-term orientation, prefer to maintain traditional norms while viewing societal change with suspicion. Switzerland scores a high 74, contributing to the pragmatic orientation. Swiss citizens believe that truth depends very much on the situation, context, and time. They show the ability to adapt traditions easily to changed conditions.
New Zealand's long-term orientation is low, 33, and reflects a normative society. People in such societies have a strong concern establishing absolute truth. They exhibit great respect for traditions and a relatively small propensity to save for the future, which means they like focusing on quick results.
When taking a look at Switzerland's 5 dimensions and our marketing approach, because of the placement of the power distance, we want to make products available to everyone. With a high score on the individualistic scale, we want to market with a high value product which can be beneficial and have rewards to customers. In a masculine society, you want to appeal to lead users and innovators, such as successful businessmen. Because of the high uncertainty avoidance, you want to have secure guidelines for product usage and its abilities. And due to Switzerland's high long-term orientation score, we want high prices reflecting products that last.
In New Zealand, we'd like to market to all citizens because of the low power distance score. And because they have a high individualism score, products promoting high value of instant benefits and reward will be used. Due to the lack of preference in New Zealand's uncertainty avoidance score, we would like to not appeal to either a limited or free-range product ability. And with a low long-term orientation score, our products are focused on solving quick issues and needs